Yo, what up, man? It's your boy TCS, Rocket Man Rilo from the Cooking Show 262.0. And today I'm coming at you, as you can see from the thumbnail and the title. Yes, Trump has been indicted today. Trump has been indicted. What is he charged with? We don't really know yet, right? Everybody knows. I think most people know about the Stormy Daniels thing, and we're going to get to all that because I'm going to react to a video that's very informative. They bring in a guy that's going to be speaking about what's going on with Donald Trump and another person to give a couple point of views, and we're going to react to that. But if you are a felon, this is what I want to begin with right now. Very important. I swear to God, I swear to you on my son, if you are a felon, you need to watch this video from the beginning to the end. And if you don't you ever let me find you on my social media or any other social media ever complaining again, because a big can of worms was just opened for felons all across the United States. All right. Now, when these politicians get in these situations, they tend to use the law to their advantage and bend it to their whim, right? Well, something grand has happened. All right, my brothers, and I'm going to bring that to you. So I just want to jump in. But before we do that, I do want to let you guys know I want to say something. Listen. All right. So President Trump is the same president, right? That was the host of The Apprentice. A lot of people didn't like him because of that. You know, a lot of that was character, 80-20, I'd say. Trump is a businessman. He's definitely got to be a ruthless and a shrewd businessman. When you're running a multi-level, multi-billion-dollar corporation, he is not the kind of guy that you bring excuses to. He's not the kind of guy you bring problems to. He is the kind of guy that you bring solutions and innovations, and you bring him big commissions. You bring him dollars. That's what you bring him. He don't have time for the attaboys and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He takes his appreciation and his gratefulness in dollar amounts. That's just him. That's what he's got time for. That's what he's good at, and that's what he's busy doing. When that's him. Okay, what he does in his spare time, I don't know. I don't know the man. I can't judge him. As a president, can I judge him? Yeah, but I look back and I say, look, I don't really know, right, who is running politics, because I think we lost the grip on that a long time ago, as far as the president being the one that's really pulling the strings. I mean, that's just an opinion. So that's why I just sit back and I watch politics without really giving an opinion. And it usually goes the routes that I'm thinking is going to go, by knowing about, just I'd say, global news and the knowledge of what's going on globally, around the world. Just regular geography, man, and know what's and the knowledge of what's going on around the world and how certain things can affect other things. And that's what I pay attention to. So when stuff like this is happening with Trump right now, you ask yourself, why? Why right now? Right? Why did it come right at the end of the campaign in 2016? Same situation, right? Let's just jump into the video. Why was Trump indicted? And then we'll holler after that, okay? But like I said, Trump was, before he was president, when he was The Apprentice, when he was that guy, and he was in a million rap songs. Everybody was, I'm getting money like Trump. I'm loving Trump. They showing Trump mad love, taking pictures with Trump, certain rappers, all kind of stuff. And he showed love. The WWE, and he was always just down to come and show you some love, right? And this presidential thing, it can get ugly. This political thing, it gets ugly, and you got to look at it through a different lens. You can't look at it through a lens that you was looking at it through when you were watching him on WWE, or when you were watching him on The Apprentice. It's not the same lens. It's not the same camera. It's not the same directors, man. All right, it's not the same. It's not the same producers. It's not the same writers. It's a whole different ball game. But let's jump into this, man. I don't want to keep you too long. Let's get right into it, me lads, okay? By the way, if I haven't said it, I love y'all, man. For any of you that are watching, whether it's one or two, I really appreciate you. I really love you, man. I appreciate you sticking with me and loving the movement. You know what I mean? And being a part of it, because that means a lot to me. Let me get over here because this might mean a lot to you if I go ahead and make that screen a lot bigger. And I'm going to go ahead and play it and shut my mouth. Let's get busy.
All right, so breaking news at this hour. The New York Times is reporting that a Manhattan grand jury has voted to indict former President Donald Trump. It is for his role in paying hush money to porn star Stormy Daniels. We don't know the charges per se, but joining us on the phone right now is former U.S. Attorney Patrick Collins. He is the first former or current president, obviously, Pat, to be indicted. We welcome you in. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, it's pretty extraordinary, again, and we don't know the specifics. It is an indictment that Trump himself has sort of presaged and suggested he would be arrested. And while we heard that the grand jury wasn't going to be meeting for a while, apparently they voted. We do have to wait for the details, but it's an extraordinary indictment, a former president being charged, and there's all sort of political ramifications, both for the former president, but also, for the person who's brought the charge, which is a, elected state's attorney in New York. So there's all sorts of political issues here to sort through. But the charge itself is, again, as we've been told, is a pretty straightforward sense that the former president paid $130,000 disguised as a legal fee to pay essentially hush money to this porn star Stormy Daniels to protect his run for the presidency years ago.
Okay, Patrick Collins, let's.
All right, so Pete, sorry if that was real loud. I got real close to the mic. So as you can hear, basically what they're saying, the big deal is was hush money paid to Stormy Daniels. I don't like the way they keep referring to her as the porn star Stormy Daniels. I guess maybe she chose that when she chose her career path, but is that what they call themselves? Or I'm pretty sure she'd rather adult film star. You know what I mean? So I'll say adult film star Stormy Daniels. He had an alleged affair with her, and $130,000 or something like that was dispersed to her, but disguised to look like a legal fee to his attorney. So his old attorney paid her the money, and they made it look like it was Trump paying him legal fees. But the money was funneled through them legal fees to the adult film star Stormy Daniels. I don't even have to say her title. So Stormy Daniels, you guys know who she is. And that's what they're saying. They're indicting Trump on, that he was lying. And what is this guy's name? Michael Cohen, big problem fixer all over politics, as far as I've heard. I think that's his name, whatever Cohen, but you'll hear his name. He was Trump's attorney. He is now Trump's adversary, and he is a witness against Trump. Things like that going on. So, but let's get to it, because I really want you guys to really hear what's at the end. This is really from my felons. This is for my people. I'm here to bring you the actual factuals, right? And I'm not just saying just for my felons, but for my people that want to be educated, that look at me and say, hey, man, he keeps it real. I really want to listen to him. He hasn't told me a lie so far, because I never will. Now check it out. I want you to really listen to what happens here at the end, because it's opening the floodgate for many people, especially me. I'm definitely going to take advantage of it. I promise you. And this ain't nothing I'm selling you. I'm giving it to you for free. It's free crack. Let's get back to it. Yeah. Year to me. Whoa. Dude, he looks like my son there. Look. Whoa. I'm being indicted. Look at that face. Whoa. Oh, Mamma Mia. Look at his face. Oh, I got you, T-Rump. I got you, man, at a bad angle. We all got him. The wig's looking good, though. All right, let's get back to it, man.
Stay with that, because I think for a lot of people it becomes very confusing when they've got all these moving pieces to the cases. against Trump. And I think they asked themselves, what is this about? Is this a tax evasion charge? Sort of explain where this is coming from, because for a lot of folks, they might think this is a misdemeanor, right? So explain the logistics of how this works.
Yeah, Lourdes,
Listen.
and again, we haven't seen the actual charge, so I'd be reluctant to sort of state it with specificity. But as we've been told, it's basically a charge where a payment was misdirected or called something it wasn't. In other words, there was a hush money payment that was disguised as a legal expense, with the star witness being Michael Cohen, who's Trump's former attorney, who's now turned into a government witness. And again, we do have to wait. I do want to caution the audience to wait to see what there actually is charged. But Lourdes, I do have to say, again, as someone who's in the criminal justice system, how many times would this charge be made if it wasn't, Donald Trump? That's a fair question, but we do have to wait and see what it is. But it's really, at least as it's been described so far, it's at its core a payment, $130,000, that was falsely described as a legal expense that was really a payment to silence Stormy Daniels.
All right, Pat, so walk us through, the coming days, assuming for the moment that this is true. So Mr. Trump's attorneys will obviously be given knowledge of this. And then he has to surrender? How does that work? Do they work out a deal on how to proceed in terms of him, turning himself over? Does he get arrested? Does it
Listen.
mugshots? How does that work?
Yeah, it's a fair question, Patrick. And again, I think Donald Trump, what was it, 2 weeks ago, who said, I'm going to be arrested on Tuesday. I do think he was sort of, presenting a scenario in which he would be arrested and also effectively be made a victim. I think what's happening now is Donald Trump's lawyers, if in fact this charge has occurred, they're negotiating whether there's a self-surrender or whether there's an arrest and effectively what they call a perp walk, which again, depending on the politics of this, would either be a benefit to Donald Trump or a negative, in the sense that he would be declared someone put in handcuffs and walk through a gauntlet through the system. And again, I suspect what's happening now, if this charge has happened, Donald Trump's lawyers are negotiating a surrender, which would be the quiet way to do this. If Donald Trump feels it's in his advantage to make an example of this, then perhaps they would go through the handcuffs and the public arrest, if you will.
All right. We've also reported on the Mar-a-Lago documents case. It's, I say that there's so many moving parts to Donald Trump, right? And I wonder how this case would affect some of the other moving pieces in the Donald Trump world. So meaning the Mar-a-Lago documents case, would this have any impact on that?
It's a fair question, Lourdes, but I have to say it's important for your viewers to understand, these are two separate entities that are doing the investigation. The investigation that resulted in the indictment, as we're learning, it's a state. It's the District Attorney Bragg, who's a state elected New York Manhattan District Attorney. The U.S. Attorney's Office and the Department of Justice are doing the Mar-a-Lago documents case, and I think by definition that's a longer term, more methodical case. But it's two different agencies of the government who I suspect, Lourdes, and I don't know this, but I suspect are not coordinating. It's two different fact patterns. The Stormy Daniels matter has absolutely nothing to do with the Mar-a-Lago documents case.
All right, so Patrick Collins, stay with us. Former federal prosecutor, was instrumental in the prosecution of former Illinois Governor George Ryan. Let's do a reset for those who are just joining us now. Breaking news out of New York. The New York Times is reporting that a Manhattan grand jury has voted to indict former President Donald Trump. It is for his role in paying hush money to porn star Stormy Daniels. We don't know the charges again, but we are running through possible scenarios in terms of his surrender and how this case.
New York. So there's all sorts of
My bad.
But as Lourdes said earlier, the DOJ.
All right, but I want to get to this right here. So They don't know the charges right now, right? So the Stormy Daniels things, of course, you know, the big rain cloud, right? That's what's hanging over everybody's head. That's what everybody's thinking is about. But there's layers to it, right? Like they say, there's levels to this. So there could have been other crimes that were committed in the commission of that crime. So I'm guessing that, and like they said, this is a state case. This is the New York dude Braggs, the district attorney. He's at Trump's throat. He's at his hat rack. I mean, man, dude's on him. He's on him. He's on Trump's his ass, man. I'm telling you, like the Batman light, he's on him. So he's the one after Trump. They keep mentioning this Mar-a-Lago thing. I'm not too savvy on it. I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Keep it real with you. You know what I mean? But like they said, they really don't know the charges yet, right? So what I'm gonna do is, since we already know what Trump is going to be indicted for and what may be the charges, I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit because I want you guys to hear a few other things, and then we're gonna get to the motherfucking grand finale. All right, I almost forgot what to say. That's why I did that.
Case, and we don't know where that's headed, but I don't suspect there's any conclusion there very soon.
All right, Patrick, us on the phone. Obviously, we're trying to unpack all of this as this information's coming in this afternoon. We do have Stephen Caliento on the phone with us as well. He's with North Central College, and he could probably weigh in a little bit more on
So
the
listen,
political
ugly
ramifications
dude. He's really
of all of this. Hello to you.
He's
Do you
gonna
hear
break
us?
some shit down. Look like a booger. Watch.
Stephen, are you there? This is Lourdes and Patrick.
Moko?
I can hear you both.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Let's just get your initial thoughts on all of this as this news comes in this afternoon, the New York Times and CNN reporting it.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, right? I mean, the former president kind of indicated that he thought last Tuesday was going to be the day, and then it didn't happen. And then we got a report just a couple of days ago that the grand jury was going to take a break, and it was going to be after April 5th. And so a little bit of a surprise that we're getting it this afternoon. But I think your last guest, Patrick, was right on point in terms of the expectation about how the Trump team will deal with this.
Yep.
Professor, let's talk about the politics of the whole matter. The former president signaled, a week or so ago that he said this was coming. He had asked his supporters to come and protest there in Manhattan.
He tried to
if
set it
you
up.
are advising him, well, I don't know how you want to put this politically speaking, he's going to use this to his advantage in some way or another. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely correct. And I don't know what's going to be most helpful. I mean, I think there's a couple ways this can play out politically. One is, as Patrick sort of suggested a moment ago, the political martyr. And I think we've seen indications of that from Trump supporters over the last few weeks. Suggestions like, if it can happen to him, it can happen to any of us. And this is very consistent with what former President Trump's message has been. His sort of neo-populist message is that what they do to me, they're trying to do to you. And so when he's persecuted, it's a persecution of the every person,
The
or
American
the ordinary American, which is a little odd considering the specific charges that are being leveled here. This is not something that every American is typically involved in. But he could use that. The other way is to be quiet. And to not make a spectacle of the processing, and then to fight the case, because again, as Patrick suggested very wisely, I think whether these charges would stick.
All right, hold on, Rat Boy. All right, so people know. He's saying Trump can basically he can really turn this to his advantage. He can be the political martyr. He can be the guy that, look, man, they did this to me. They set me up. They got me. This can happen to you. If this is happening to me, it's happening to America because I represent America. And he's saying that that's not necessarily true. But no, it is. It is, though. See, that's what people got to get out of their mind, man. They got to get out of their mind, right? If they can come up to the guy right next to me, right, without a warrant, without anything, and let's say he's a Hispanic guy, a Mexican guy, and they walk right up to him and grab him and say, get on the car, handcuff him, pull out his ID, run it, find out he's an illegal, take him, send him through wherever they're going to send him or whatever the case may be, right? But would that have happened if they were not allowed to, maybe that was a bad analogy because it's somebody that's not supposed to be here. But let's just say, okay, let's run it back. All right, that was a bad one. Let's run it back. Let's say my guy right here, right? Boom. The police pull up right next to me, say, let me see your ID. He says, why, sir? I didn't do anything. Yeah, but let me see your ID. I didn't do anything. They jump out, beat him up, boom, 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 take his ID and read it, and then, you know, whatever, let him go. You know what I'm saying? That's like us watching that. If it can happen to him, yeah, it can happen to every U.S. citizen. They doing it. What can happen to one U.S. citizen can happen to another, right? So that's one way to look at it. Or the other way they're saying is that Trump's gonna just be quiet. And yo, I don't see that happening, dog, because that Adderall colored motherfucker like to talk. You know what I'm saying? But yo, let's run the tape because we almost there. Peep.
And that he'd be convicted is very different than whether an indictment can be handed
Let me
down.
ask you this, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. A convicted felon cannot hold the office of president. Is that right?
That's not correct.
That is not correct. Thank you.
No, it's not correct. In fact, this Constitution has very little to say about qualifications for president of the United States. I mean, this hasn't come up because I think a lot of folks assume that voters were not going to be particularly enthusiastic.
Let me run that back for you.
But even members of Congress.
Listen.
Is that right?
That's not.
Let me run that back for you. Listen.
And then to fight the case, because again, as Patrick suggested very wisely, I think whether these charges would stick and that he'd be convicted is very different than whether an indictment can be handed down.
Let me ask you this, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. A convicted felon cannot hold the office of president. Is that right?
That's not correct.
That is not correct. Thank you.
No, it's not correct. In fact, this Constitution has very little to say about qualifications for president of the United States. I mean, this hasn't come up because I think a lot of folks assume that voters were not going to be particularly enthusiastic. But even members of Congress, when convicted of a crime, can serve. Now, a lot of states have laws, and this is, I think, what you're thinking. A lot of states have laws that forbid convicted felons of running for state office. But the federal office rules are different. They're governed by the Constitution, and we don't have clear guidance in most cases. And where we do have guidance, the guidance allows that a convicted felon can, in fact, run and serve.
Interesting.
Okay, let's continue on this theme of.
Bam. All right, so let me get that up out the way. I'm done with that video. Now, all right. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Now, if you're still here with me, then this is what I wanted you to see. Now, when they take the laws and they bend them to their will and allow them to work, but like I said, what happens to one American can happen to another American. Keep that in your mind if that's his campaign, if that's anybody's campaign. Look at what they just said. On a federal level, you can still run and you can still be president of the United States if you are a felon or if you do have charges, right? So on a federal level, there should be so many jobs that you can go and get if you are a felon. You should be able to work for the government if you are a felon. You should be able to work for, I mean, there's so your life should not be so limited, right? Right? It shouldn't be limited to these factories. It shouldn't be limited. Now, don't get me wrong. If you work in a factory, man, go get it. Any way that you get it, go get it. But I wish more for you, just like you wish more for you. I wish everybody success, right? I wish that nobody has to break their back in a factory for low means. You know what I mean? I hope, at least I hope that if they are in a factory, that it's something that they can like, that they're making a great living off of. You know what I'm saying? But I do want everybody to win. So it's like this, man. You saying that we don't have to be, and in fact, we can be in these government positions. We can be, how high can we go being a felon? Why was that kept from us? I didn't know that. I didn't know you can be a felon and be the president. I don't think that guy did either because he posed the question, the news anchor. That's the bomb. That's the bomb. You get what I'm saying? Again. My felons, my people. Now I want you to understand something, man. Even if you are a felon and you're not ambitious enough to go out here and try to see what you can do in the government, or you just don't have those ambitions to be in the government or to have anything to do with that, no matter what, man, you can find your way. Sales is another thing that they don't care if you're a felon or not, and you can make as much money as you want. Go to a car lot. You know what I mean? Go to a car lot. They'll hire you. As long as you're not all tattooed up and things like that. And some places don't care, but go to a car lot and be a car salesman, and I guarantee you'll make you a good 100,000 a year if you really put your mind to it. You know what I mean? Just because you are a felon and just because you have made mistakes, trust me, you don't have to work these dead-end jobs, man. You can really just stay out of trouble, change your attitude, Change, stay from around, certain people. If you hang around 3 broke people, you're going to be the 4th broke person. If you hang around 3 millionaires, you're going to be the 4th millionaire. So kicking around like-minded people that are like you, that have you're of one mind. You have the same goals. You have the same, ambitions. And you really can't go wrong, man. No matter what you elect to get into. If it's a factory job just to get ahead real quick, you know what I mean, and you find something better, you get into the union, or you find car sales, I highly recommend you get a job in sales, because they don't care, man. And you can make uncapped salary, man. You can make, not salary, but uncapped commission. You can make as much as you want. You can make $1 million a year. I could tell you stories about guys that are making so much money selling cars still. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of time. A lot of what this is selling. I'm selling myself to you, right? I'm trying to get known, and this kind of does have something to do with sales, but it's not over, man. It never is. It never is. You just got to keep on going. So I hope you guys know that. And that's a message from your boy TCS Rollo, man, aka TCS Rockin' Man Rollo. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, and share. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Let me know in the comments how you feel I'm doing too. Am I being biased? Do you feel like I'm, am I, before you say, yeah, I think you're stupid for wearing glasses all the time. Just know that there are big lights in front of me. You can kind of see them in my glasses, right? And those dry your eyes out right away, and they also hurt your eyes. So it's just, it's easier on the eyes to wear the glasses. So don't judge me for them. But, if there's anything that you could see me doing better, let me know. And if there's anything you would like to see me talk about, if there's something you would like to see me give commentary on, if there's something that you would like to see me, react to, you got a story, you want to be interviewed, you got some promo, anything like that, I'd love to have you on, man. Let's talk. All right. Other than that, I'm up out of here, man. Peace and love. Remember, proper education activates constant elevation. That's the definition of peace. And I wish you love. And shout out to Trump, man. Praying that you get through your problems just because you're a man. You know what I mean? I'm leaving my political opinion up out of this. It just has nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? I don't know Trump personally. I'm not going to judge him. I don't wish incarceration on any man. And I don't think that incarceration is, I don't think it reforms. So God bless all, man. Peace and love from the motherfucking Cooking Show 262.0. And I'm your boy, Rollo. I holler at you, man. TCS, though. You already know.